session on computer hardware and maintenance and troubleshooting. So the topics that we will be discussing like knowledge of computer hardware, identify computer hardware issues, problems, determine faulty computer hardware. So I think the topics that I have mentioned, it would not be possible to discuss everything, but this is just a glimpse of the entire course. It is just a summary of the entire course. I have already sent the syllabus for this course yesterday in the WhatsApp group. So you people can check your WhatsApp group. I have sent the entire details thing. So this is just a summary of the entire course. So it will be determining faulty computer hardwares, knowing basic computer troubleshooting tips. So basically, we will start with setting up a computer, setting up a desktop computer by yourself. So maybe you will have to purchase those components, the hardware components that I have listed out. So once you purchase them, then we will definitely discuss the theoretical aspect of each and every hardware components, as well as we will also discuss how to assemble them, how to plug in or how to install them physically, and then finally we will be able to set up our desktop by ourselves. Some ready-made components will be keyboards, mouse, and your monitor. These will be ready-made items. You do not have to assemble anything. You just have to plug in. But other than that, the CPU unit you have to set up by yourself, which we will be learning in this course. And once we are done with the basic setup, we will also be learning some troubleshooting that we need to do on a daily basis, some day-to-day problems or issues that happens on a day-to-day basis with anybody who is using a desktop or laptop or whatever it is. So these are the things, and we definitely will identify certain hardware peripherals also, not only the desktop unit. What are the different peripherals that are connected with the desktop units? We will need to have a little bit of knowledge on operating system. This course is not a very vast and very in-depth course on operating system and all those things, but basic knowledge is required so that we can install the operating system on the hardware. Because ultimately, if you do not have a suitable operating system on the hardware is useless. So any hardware, how much, whatever the configuration is, whatever the price is, but the hardware is useless if you don't have a proper operating system to control it. So we will learn about operating system. We will learn how to install them, how to install some device drivers. Device drivers are small software drivers or software programs that we need to install so that certain hardware components work properly. Like if you have a webcam, or if you have some additional hardware device like USB, audio, video, or some other device. Sometimes they work as a plug and play device, but sometimes we need to install, like if you have a printer, so you have to install a driver software separately. So we will discuss about them also. And we will discuss about basic knowledge of safeguarding your hardware, how you can maintain your hardware, how you should handle your hardware. And definitely we will apply this knowledge. So anybody with this knowledge, with continuous practice, they can apply it for maintaining their computer on a day-to-day basis. So the first thing that we need to learn about computer are the basics. So like basics, I think all of you already know what a computer is. So before me discussing about what a computer is, Rajdeep, can you just explain what a computer is? What is a computer?
It's like a device where you can like do stuff where you can apply applications, so you can use applications to do something.
Okay, so is it like if I ask you like whether it's a hardware or software, what will be your answer?
It's a hardware.
So basically, is computer, though it's a hardware, but actually, computer is a device which is made up of two components. One is the hardware, and the other is the software. As I
Oh,
already mentioned, that if you only have the hardware, that will be useless unless and until you have a proper software installed into your hardware. So though it is a hardware in the sense that we can touch the hardware, we can touch and feel the keyboard, mouse, the CPU unit, the monitor. In that sense, it is hardware. But actually, if we go with the proper definition, it is made up of two components. So one is hardware and the other is software. So this is just a definition. You can get many different definitions in different articles. So this is a definition where it says, and it is an electronic device operating under the control of instructions stored in its own memory that can accept data as an input and process the data according to specified rules. So that is, we call it process, and produce results, that is the output. And it is also used to store data basically, for future use. So basically we can say computer is a digital device, electronic device or digital device. Most of the devices that we use at our home, whether it's a television, whether it's a AC or refrigerator, these are all electronic device. But again, electronic device can be classified into certain types, like whether it's a digital device, whether it's an analog device or something else. Digital device are those devices which understand digital language or binary language. So any of you have learned about binary number system or decimal number system? Have you learned these things, binary and decimal, in your school? Was there any class on binary number system or decimal number system?
Yeah, there were for me.
Okay. Like in computers, we know they only understand binary number systems, which is 0 and 1. So basically, instead of a electronic device, we can say it is a digital device which is used by a user to take input or data for through certain sources, maybe through input devices like keyboard, mouse, or any other input devices. And they basically process the data as per the requirement of the user. So if it is a person who is just using his computer for watching maybe a movie or listening to music, so his job is, his output is just to listen to that audio or video file. But again, the same computer can be used by another person for creating a MS Word file, Microsoft Word file, or MS Excel file, or maybe a PowerPoint presentation. So basically, it is a digital device which can be used as per the requirement of the user to input the data and then process it as per the requirement. They can process and get the proper output. So computers can be used in huge mathematical calculations, in researches also. So there are different functionalities where computers can be used. So these are certain components that we can see in a computer. Though basically the main items are the monitor, keyboard, and mouse, and the CPU unit. But other than that, there could be some peripheral devices like printers, scanners, or maybe microphones, or there could be some additional card reader drives, or modems, or external hard disks. So this could be some additional devices. And so some examples and types of computers that we see nowadays are like desktop, laptops, tablets, smartphones, and supercomputers, or notebooks, and mainframe computers are there in the industry, where they are being used for a large data processing on those industry requirements. So there could be the basic hardware component that we see in a computer could be classified into three classes. One is the input device, the other could be the output device, and there is a processing unit or CPU unit. So basically there are three main parts. One is the input device, the other is the output device. So basically the keyboard and mouse that we see, these are input device by which we provide instruction to the computer that what I need to do, what is my requirement. So whatever, if I am playing a game, if I am playing a video game or something, so maybe I will use joystick or any other, maybe if it is a game which we can play with the keyboard, so we will provide instruction to the computer that I need to do this activity in the game. So keyboard, mouse, these are some input devices. So anybody, can you give me some more examples of input devices other than keyboard and mouse? Anybody can identify any other input devices that you have seen or have you heard of? Can you give me two, three more names of input devices? Rajdeep, will you be able to give me some name of
Maybe
input devices?
like a microphone or something.
Okay, microphone is an input device. Other than microphone, anything else that you can remember?
Um, I'm not sure.
Okay,
You can
other,
use graphic tablets to draw.
repeat again.
You can use graphic tablets to draw. and use the pens on them like an Apple pen.
Correct. So nowadays we use some tablet pads to write something on the screen. So these are also input device. And other than this, anything else that anybody can remember as an input device?
Scanner.
Yeah, scanner is also an input device. So I think these were the devices that you people could recollect. Other than this, there could be input devices like if you use something like as I mentioned, joystick. Joystick is a device which we use when we play game. So joystick is again an input device. Again, if it is a touch device having a touchpad, or so in that case, laptop. In the laptop, the touchpad is an input device, because through the touchpad we send instruction to the laptop. And like in case of certain tablets where they have touch screen, so touch screen is again, it is a combination of input and output device, because if you are using a tablet or maybe any other computer which is having a touch screen, so touchscreen is not only used to send instruction to the computer, but it is also an output device where the result comes up on the screen. So touchscreen is a combination of input and output device. So there could be some output devices, a name also that has been mentioned here, like printer, monitor, speaker. Other than these three devices, printer, monitor, speaker, anybody can tell me some name of other output devices?
Headphones.
Yeah, headphone is a output device. Anything else related to headphone? Something else? Something related to audio? You said headphones. Other than headphones, there could be some more
Speakers.
devices.
Speakers.
Yeah, speakers. Audio speakers are output devices. And anything else that you can remember? Like if you go in a seminar room, do you see something which is output device?
Projector.
Correct. Projector is also a output device, because it is a device through which the results are being shown on a large screen in a seminar room or something. So there are different types of output devices also. Other than this common one, the monitor is the most common one, and printer we can see in certain offices or maybe at homes also. So there will be at least, we will be discussing about at least 10 input devices and 10 output devices later during the class. So the second thing is, as I mentioned, the three components are input device, output device, and the CPU unit. So the CPU unit is that tower type box or the cabinet that you see just beside your desktop, which is actually a cabinet box within which there are multiple small components, and there is a major logical circuit or main board which is called motherboard. So these components are there, which we will be learning step by step, and we will also learn how to assemble them. So within that CPU unit, there could be motherboard, there could be RAM, there could be a CPU. Though sometimes casually we say that is a CPU, but actually CPU technically it is central processing unit, or it is the microprocessor that is there within the motherboard that we will be discussing later on. So that's why the entire cabinet box, we can call it CPU unit instead of just CPU. So there will be microprocessor, there will be RAM, there will be hard disks or SSD, whatever we are using, and there will be the motherboard, which is the main board, and there will be a fan, which is the processor fan, which needs to be installed just above the processor. So these things we will discuss later in details. So these are some hardware components that has been shown here as I was mentioning. This is the motherboard where I'm hovering my mouse cursor in the left hand side. This is the motherboard or main board. Basically any electronic device, whether it's a laptop or whether it's a mobile or whether it's a AC or refrigerator, every device has got a logic card or a main board which controls the device. So in case of computer, the main board or the logic card is called motherboard, and it is also called PCB. PCB, the full form is printed circuit board, because it is a board which has many circuits which are printed, and these are factory manufactured boards, and everything is mentioned nowadays. The boards that are coming in the market, they have their manufacturer name, their model number, which component is for what purpose. The slot names and numbers are also mentioned. So this is also called PCB, and this is a RAM, that is random access memory, that is being installed in the computer. And basically the purpose of RAM is to hold any data for temporary period. Anything that we see on the screen, like currently you people are able to see my screen, you are able to see my PowerPoint presentation. So everything that you see on the screen, they actually first gets loaded onto the RAM. Once it gets loaded onto the RAM, then only it appears on the screen. So generally, like when we will be discussing on troubleshooting, a very common problem that happens in most times in a home environment or maybe in an office environment, that the computer that you were using yesterday, it was working fine, and today when you powered it up, though the computer is running, you can feel that it is running. The LED lights in the CPU unit is glowing properly, but still you cannot see anything on the screen. The monitor is totally a blackout. There is no letters coming up. So mostly these display problems arise with RAM. So we'll be discussing about this more detail during the classes. And there are so this is the left hand side is the cabinet that has been shown, the casing or the cabinet box within which we will install all these components: the motherboard, the RAM, the processor fan, and SMPS is the power supply, which is there in the cabinet box, which will provide the supply to your motherboard and all the components that are associated with your motherboards. So so there are other hardware components also, as for storage device it could be your hard disks, and there are SSD. Nowadays people are using SSD in the desktop and laptop, so we will discuss about SSD also. In hard disks there are two types of hard disks. One is SATA hard disks, the full form is Serial Advanced Technology Attachment, and another is PATA hard disks. So though PATA is nowadays a little bit older and obsolete, mostly all the computers have SATA hard disks, and nowadays even hard disks are also a little bit older thing that is happening nowadays. People are using SSD, so we'll be discussing both of them, SSD and hard disks, all these components. And there should be additional peripheral devices also, like a microphone, keyboard, mouse, webcam, scanner, printer. So we will discuss about them also in the class. And though networking is not covered here, but at least we will discuss about what is a network card and what is the functionality. So in computers, there are various ports, physical ports that we will be seeing when we will be doing the practice. So there are certain ports which are USB ports. Most of the devices or the peripheral devices that nowadays we connect with the desktop, they are basically USB devices. We can connect them in the USB port. Uh, Again, the word USB has a full form called Universal Serial Bus. And other than this, there could be many other ports, like the video cable which is coming from the monitor. So that cable connects to a specific port called video port or VGA port, video graphics array. So there are certain ports which are used for connecting the video cable, certain ports which are used for connecting keyboard, mouse. There are network ports where we can connect the network cable. And if you have a additional speaker or microphone, there are audio ports also. So ports vary with the type of equipment that connects to that port. So USB port will be something different, audio port will be something different, and graphics or a video port will be something different. So ports have gradually changed over time, and computers have changed to become faster and easier to work with. So these are certain ports that has been shown here. Later we will be discussing on a elaborate fashion on these ports. So as you can see, these ports are different, and the left hand side, these are basically male connectors. When we will be discussing about port, we will also have to discuss about the cables that we need to connect on those ports. So whenever we connect a cable on the port, basically the connector end of the cables are male port, which have pins edging out, and the ports or the sockets where we connect the cables, they are female ports. So in the right hand side, most of these sockets that has been shown, these are female ports. This blue color socket that you can see, this is your video port or video graphics array, where we connect the cable which is coming from the monitor. And there are HDMI ports also. Right now, many devices, many monitors, as well as many smart TVs, they have HDMI port, which is also a video port. So they have, we need HDMI cables to connect to them. So we will discuss on them one by one. And there could be many different ports depending on the motherboards. Generally, we have a standard type of ports, but again, some ports could be a little bit obsolete nowadays. Like in the right hand side, this blue and green, these were PS2 ports which were available in earlier days in desktops. But again, there could be some gaming motherboards where they may need some PS2 port. They may have a single PS2 port. So these things we'll be covering within the session. So if we see the cabinet, in the cabinet, there could be like this is the front end of the cabinet when we will be assembling the CPU unit. Or if you just focus on any cabinet, this is the front end where there will be a LED light. One LED light will be the power LED, which will glow in green, and the other would be a hard disk LED, which generally is in red color. It glows in red. So if you have any issues with your hard disk, generally that red LED glows constantly. Otherwise, it blinks whenever we write anything, whenever we double click on any file, that red LED blinks. So we will be discussing on these things in the back end, which is called the back panel. The back panel of your CPU unit, we have multiple ports. So these things we will definitely discuss during the class. And regarding software, so we will have a little bit understanding of software also. So like anybody has any idea what is a software? If I ask what is a software, so what is your answer? Anybody can tell me?
Maybe like Windows.
Yeah, Windows is a software, but what actually a software is? Like for computer, you said it is a hardware, though I said that it is not only a hardware, it is a mix of hardware and software. But what if I ask you what is a software? What will be your answer?
Something that runs on the computer to make it work.
Yeah. So software is basically, it is a computer program which has been developed by a programmer. So any programmer or developer who has developed a certain application or maybe a software program for a certain functionality. Now, software can again be classified depending on its functionality. Like the operating system that you talked right now, it is a system software. So we will be discussing these things software can be defined as a set of programs which is designed to perform a well-defined function. And again, if somebody is not very clear what is a program, I think all of you are clear what is a program because most of you have done some courses, some software courses earlier. So you must be knowing what is a program. So a program is a collection of different instructions or different codes arranged sequentially or in a proper manner so that you can do a specific task on the computer. So when you know a single command, so that is, we call it a command. But when you just combine multiple commands together and you create a file or a script, so that is what is called programming, where we have multiple commands combined together to perform a single task or maybe a specific task. So that is a program. So software is a program. It is a set of programs. It could be a collection of multiple programs. Like when we are talking about operating system, it is a collection of multiple programs in the sense that operating system is the main program or the main software that we require to control our hardware. Whether your hardware is of a very good configuration or it's a medium level configuration, whatever it is, whether you have a i3, i9 processor or AMD Athlon processor, or maybe a server processor like Xeon processor, or whether in case of RAM you have a 4 GB RAM, 8 GB RAM, 16 GB, 32 GB, whatever your configuration is. And in storage, if you have a 1 TB, 2 TB hard disk or SSD, 1 TB, 2 TB, whatever it is, but still you will not be able to use them until and unless you have a proper operating system. So operating system is basically a collection of multiple softwares, and regarding a program is a sequence of instructions, as I mentioned just now. It's a sequence of instructions written to solve a particular problem. So again, softwares can be classified into two broad classes. One is system software, and the other is application software. So as you said that you are using an operating system, so operating system comes in the category of system software, because through operating system you can control the hardware, you can control the CPU, that is microprocessor, you can control the RAM, you can control your motherboard components, you can control your hard disks. So that's why operating system comes into the category of system software. So system software is a collection of programs designed to operate, control, and extend the processing capabilities of the computer itself. And system software are generally prepared by computer manufacturers. Here the thing is, like we know. So can anyone tell me some name of some operating system names that you have heard of or you have used? Can anybody tell me some operating system name? Anybody?
There's Windows, there's Linux,
Yeah.
there's Mac.
Okay. So the most common operating system that we see is Windows, that has been used all over the world globally. Other than Windows, there could be Ubuntu, which is a Linux distribution, which is in the second topmost used operating system. In the third position, there could be Mac OS, Macintosh OS, which is a product of Apple. So Windows is a product of Microsoft Corporation, and Linux, though the kernel of the operating system was developed as an open source kernel by a person called Linus Torvalds, but that was an open source project, and then that kernel was modified by many people. So there are around more than 600 different distributions of Linux, out of which some are commercial and some are free. And Macintosh or Mac OS is a product of Apple. It's a proprietary product of a company called Apple Corporation. So we'll be discussing on them also. And system software serves as the interface between the hardware and the end user. So as I mentioned, as a user, you will not be able to control your hardware if you don't have a proper operating system. And within the operating system, there are multiple programs like compilers, interpreters, assemblers. So these things could be there. There are device drivers also. So these things comes into the category of system software. And the other type of software, the broad category, as I mentioned, one is system software, and the second category is application software. So application software, can anybody give me an example of an application software? Any idea of application software? What is application software?
Maybe like Microsoft Word or something, or like Notepad.
Correct. So, like Microsoft Word is an application software in the sense that it is a specific software which is being developed for a specific task. If you think that Microsoft Word will control your computer, will control your CPU, your RAM, it is not possible. It is not developed for controlling the hardware of your computer. To control the hardware, you need an operating system, but over and above your operating system, you may need specific application software for specific tasks. Like if you want to create a MS Word file, you need MS Word package. If you need to create a spreadsheet or a chart, you need MS Excel. If you need to create a PowerPoint presentation, you need PPT, the MS PowerPoint application package. So these are specific. Even other than this, when we browse the internet, so do you people browse internet? All of you?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you browse internet? Do you browse internet through the mobile or do you browse internet through some computer?
Mostly computers.
Yeah, both, basically.
Yeah, Rajdeep, can you repeat? I cannot hear it. Do you browse?
Both.
Uh, do you browse through mobile or through computer?
Yeah, sometimes I browse to the computer and sometimes I browse to the phone.
Okay. So what operating system you are using?
Chrome,
Okay, Chrome is the browser that you are using. And do you browse through some desktop or laptop?
laptop.
Laptop. So do you have Windows operating system or
Oh,
Mac?
yeah, Windows, yeah,
You have
Windows.
Windows. So is it Windows 10 or 11 or
That's
uh,
Windows 10.
Windows 10? Correct. So the thing is, this Chrome that you have mentioned right now, Chrome is also an application software because it is a specific software which is being developed for a specific purpose, and the purpose is to browse the internet. Browse, the word browse means exploring something. So internet is basically a large network. So we we need to browse and explore that network. So in order to browse and explore that network, we need a browser. So Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, Opera, or any other browser like Brave is nowadays is getting very popular. So these browsers are basically specific application softwares. Even the antivirus software that we typically use to protect our computer from viruses and threats and malwares, these are also application software. So there is a clear difference between system software and application software. And so we will be discussing on these things on a more elaborate fashion during our session. So I think till now, whatever I have discussed, if anybody has any question,